I've just spent 2 full days in the beautiful Japanese onsen town of Beppu, and if you're watching this, you're probably thinking of doing something similar. So in this video, I'd like to show you 3 of the best onsens you can visit in the Kannawa area of Beppu, and a few other things you can do in your downtime. Let's go. Here we are then, Beppu, the famous onsen town in Ueda Prefecture on the island of Kyushu in Japan. Now, of course I'm here to try an onsen, but I'm also starving because I've arrived a few hours ago and I haven't eaten any lunch and I've barely eaten any breakfast. So let me show you one of the best places and most unique places you can have your lunch or dinner in Beppu. Let me introduce you to Jigoku Mushi Kobo, where you can actually cook your own dinner using onsen steam. This method of cooking in Japan goes back centuries, so it's a cultural experience as much as it is a novelty. You can bring your own food, but there's a huge menu of food you can purchase on location, which includes veggies and proteins. And like most food in Japan, it's very affordable. All you have to do is head inside and find a ticket machine. Here you can select all the food you want and pay for your meal. And after this, you take your ticket to the very friendly staff who present you with your food in a mesh basket, give you a timer, and then direct you outside to cook your food in the large wooden steam ovens. Once you're outside, another friendly staff member helps you put on some big rubber gloves to protect your skin, because once you open the steamer, you will be engulfed in steam that is quite literally boiling. With your gloves on, you're then directed to safely lower your wee mesh basket into the steamer and instructed to start your timer, which runs for 15 minutes. Ooh. Right, here is the grub. I don't think I'm supposed to have 2 metal trays, but I've got 2 metal trays. Anyway, I have gone for the meat set too. I think there's a fish set, a meat set, which I have, and then a hidden treasure set, which I didn't really know what it was, so that's why I went for the meat set. But we've got lots of steamed veg here. We've got carrot, potato, onion, I think is that pumpkin, and pork, and I think this is either rice or it's chicken, and of course we've got lovely little Japanese mushrooms and some corn. So let's let this cool down, and I'll take my first bites and give it a review. But it smells great, even though it's just veg and meat, so that's a good sign. Okay, time for a taste test, and being Irish, of course I'm going to have to start with the potato, so let's give it a go. Whoops. I like it. I'm just tasting vegetables, but it's perfectly steamed. Tell you what, we'll try something I don't like, a Brussels sprout. Oh wow. Perfectly soft. Still don't like Brussels sprouts, but that's one of the better ones I've had. Okay, so the food passes the taste test. So if you're coming to Beppu and you want to try something different and get a unique food experience, this is the place for you. I'm going to finish this and then we're going to head and go to my first onsen experience. I've just found a tap outside the restaurant where you can try the hot spring water by drinking it. So let's go inside and get a little cup and try it. Although you can only drink 60 ml a day, because apparently it'll give you constipation and atrophic gastritis, whatever that is. Doesn't sound pleasant. Actually, the colour of the water in the cup doesn't look pleasant either, but let's give it a try anyway. Right, the water is now cold enough to drink. It's still not cold actually, it is still very warm, but it is at a temperature that I can handle in my mouth, I think. So let's give it a go. I don't know, kind of metallic, weird, not unpleasant, but weird. It reminds me of like when you get blood in your mouth. It's got that kind of almost irony taste to it. Yeah, I don't think I'll drink too much of this. But if you want to, just go to the little fountain right outside the restaurant here. That food absolutely plugged a hole in my stomach. I am very, very satisfied, so I cannot recommend that place enough. But if you come out of that restaurant and turn right, almost immediately you'll come across this little foot bath place, and I think it is free. So I'm going to go in and make use of it, and I think you should too, because why not? It's free, at least as far as I can see. So let's get in here and see what this is all about, because maybe this will be quite refreshing. Right, I've come inside the foot bath and there are two stations I can see here. There is one behind me here which looks to be just a pool of lukewarm to warm water where you can dip your feet, and the other one is this station here where you can sit down and actually put your feet maybe up to the knees in steam, but there's no steam at the minute, so maybe it's turned off, or maybe I do have to pay somewhere, but I can't see anything, so I think I'll just use the warm water. I actually forgot to record myself using the foot bath, so here is a phone clip of me doing exactly that. There are a number of these foot baths around Beppu, and whilst I wouldn't go out of my way to use them, if you're passing by one, do call in and make use of it, because it does provide quite a relaxing experience. Anyway, on to the next relaxing experience. So the onsen I've chosen for my very experience is not just any onsen, it is Hyotan Onsen, which has been awarded 3 stars by Michelin. Now I have no idea what that means, but it must be good, so let's go find out. Right, we have arrived, and I think it goes without saying that once I cross these curtains I can no longer video, because everyone in an onsen is naked, so no cameras allowed. Since I can't show you the interior, I'm going to show you Hyotan Onsen's website, because I really need you to visit this place during your time in Beppu. Honestly, immediately upon entering, you'll see why this place has 3 Michelin stars. You enter a beautiful open air courtyard before heading to the change rooms, which lead you to the huge public baths. But for me, the highlights were the open air waterfall pools and the sand baths, where you dig yourself a hole in a sand pit which is heated by the steam, and then cover yourself back up and relax for as long as you like. But the ultimate highlight was watching the stars from the open air bath. As if that wasn't enough, there's also a steam room and another restaurant where you can cook food using steam. The Hyotan website even outlines the process of entering and using the onsen, as well as detailing the rules. So please, make sure you visit this place the next time you're in Beppu. It's my second day in Beppu, and we're starting today with a Japanese castle, and then we're going to visit all 7 of the Beppu Hells. If you don't know what those are, stay tuned and I'll tell you. Whilst I was in Japan, I visited a number of castles, including Hiroshima, Osaka and Himeji Castle, which is one of only 12 original castles in the entire country. However, Beppu or Kifune Castle stood out the most because it was very small, there were no other foreign tourists here, and the architecture, comprising exposed log beams along with all the historic artifacts, created a really rustic yet authentic representation of Japanese culture. Not to mention the staff were incredibly friendly, which apparently this castle is renowned for. So I've been exploring Kifune Castle and I've been speaking to Kyoto. Yeah. I finally got your name right. And he just brought me an origami, my first origami. Arigato gozaimasu. Yeah. My first ever origami. No one's ever given me a gift before. Yeah, there you go. How nice is that? Thank you so much. Yeah, very cool. I've just learned that this is not an original Japanese castle. This one was actually rebuilt in 1957 on the model of an 800-year-old structure, but it is very beautiful and it does give you an incredible vista right across Beppu and out to Oita. So I definitely recommend coming here. It doesn't take long to get around. I'd say maybe half an hour is all you need to visit this place, but it does give you a good experience and the views make it absolutely worth it. Perhaps the most peculiar thing about this castle is that it's home to 2 white snakes. One of them is huge, but it has been dead for over 70 years and is kept preserved in a giant tank outside the castle. The other snake is alive and kept inside. It's considered a deity, so you'll be invited to touch it on your visit so that it may bring you luck and wealth. That castle was pretty cool, but now it's time to head to the first of our 7 Beppu Hells. So the Beppu Hells are 7 hot springs where the water reaches over 100 degrees Celsius. So obviously you cannot bathe in them, but you can come and look at them as a tourist attraction because each one of them has a different character. Let me show you what I mean, and we'll start with Chinawike Jigoku, which is the furthest away, or one of the furthest away, because there are 2 right in the same location. It requires about a 10-minute bus ride out of the Kannawa region of Beppu, but we've just arrived. Let's head inside and I'll show you what I mean by each of them having a different character. It costs between 450 and 500 yen to enter each of the 7 hells, or you can purchase all tickets for 2,400 yen. You can also pick up this stamp book and collect stamps at each of the 7 hells, which makes for a really nice souvenir. Now, the Japanese word for hell is Jigoku, and our first hell is Chinawike Jigoku, or the Blood Pond Hell. This eerie red hot spring is coloured by natural iron oxide rich clay, which gives it the appearance of boiling blood. It's one of the oldest hot springs in Japan and was historically used for therapeutic salves
salves or ointments. Right next door is Tatsumaki Jigoku, or Tornado Hell, home to a powerful natural geyser which erupts every 30 to 40 minutes. The eruption is short but intense, and you'll need to be seated in a safe area until it subsides. To visit the remaining hills, you'll need to hop back on a bus to Kannawa, where you can head to Shiraike Jigoku, or the White Pond Hell. This hot spring glows a soft, milky blue, which is a result of light reflecting off the minerals dissolved within. It's quiet here, dreamlike, and perfect for a moment of reflection, and for some reason it has a small but cool aquarium. Then I went to Oniyama Jigoku, or Crocodile Hell. This hell uses geothermal steam to keep over 80 crocodiles warm year-round, which I found kind of bizarre, to be honest. Nevertheless, it's cool to see so many crocodiles. Just don't get too close to the edge, because some of those crocodiles look like statues, and I'm sure they'd soon move if you let your guard down. Next was Oniishi Bozu Jigoku, named after the bubbling mud that looks like monks' shaved heads. This was followed by Yama Jigoku, or the Mountain Hell, and to be honest, I didn't record much of these hells because I was quite tired, but I saved my energy for one last hell, the Kamado Jigoku, known as the Cooking Pot Hell. This area features multiple bubbling pools where local snacks are steamed using geothermal heat. Here you can enjoy foot baths, steam inhalation, and try eggs which are boiled in hot spring steam. Quite literally fresh from hell.
One of the most popular things to do at this onsen is to eat an onsen cooked egg, and to be honest, I don't even like eggs, but when in Rome, why not? And the other thing I see people doing is drinking this. I have no idea what it is, but I'm going to give it a go. So let's find out together. Right, I have peeled my egg, and I've never had an egg that looks like this colour when it's boiled. I'm guessing that's because it's been cooked in the onsen steam and it's maybe been infused with some of the minerals in the steam. So let's give it a go. Let's give it a go as someone who doesn't like boiled eggs. Actually, it's not bad. The yolk tastes normal, but the, I don't know what you call this, but the white stuff, or in this case, tan stuff, has a different taste to it than a normal boiled egg. Yeah, interesting. Not bad. Right, time to drink this soda, and I've just unwrapped it, and I've got the bottle itself and then another cap. And I think what you do from watching other people is you put this on top and press down with your thumb. Wow. Okay, so the bottle is sealed with a little ball, and you use this as a plunger to open it. Let's taste it. Oh, it's like a very mild cream soda. Not bad. Give it a go. I've just completed all 7 of Beppu's hells, and you know what? It's been a great day out. It's really got me walking around and seeing a bit of this lovely wee town of Kannawa. But since we've been walking for so long, I think it's time for another onsen, and this time we're going to go to a very special one that not a lot of tourists know about. This comes as a recommendation from the owner of my hostel, Omoloso Hostel. So let's go see what this one's about. And it's interesting because this one you don't have to get naked. In fact, you're actually not allowed to get naked. It's a mixed onsen, and you have to bring your own swimsuit. So let's go. This is Yuyuma Nosato Onsen, and it's all outdoors, and I just arrived and paid my entrance fee, and the little lady in the office held up her hand like a 5, and I almost crapped myself because I thought she meant 5,000 yen, not 500 yen, but thankfully it was 500 yen, and that's very cheap considering that I paid 2,000 yen for the Hyotan Onsen last night. So this one's going to be very, very cool. Right now I'm walking through a bamboo forest to get to the onsen. Check this out, it's beautiful. This is actually quite a sizable walk down quite a steep little hill, but it's all through a bamboo forest, so it's kind of nice. But I'm excited to see what the onsen's like. If this bamboo forest is this nice, it's paving the way to something beautiful, I think.
And boy, was I right. Hyotan Onsen might have had 3 well-deserved Michelin stars, but Yuyuma Nosato Onsen had a tranquil atmosphere that could not be replicated, because not only was it 100% open air, it's situated right beside a natural waterfall and stream. So if you're like me and you like connecting with nature, then this is definitely the onsen for you. Yuyuma Nosato has a couple of basic pools, but the standouts for me were the riverside bath, where you can relax to the sounds of rushing water, and the sand bath, where you can rub the fine sand in the bath on your skin and achieve a nice exfoliating effect. There's also a private bath at an additional cost. So please, please, please visit this onsen. It's cheap, there's never a crowd, and it allows you to relax and unwind in nature, which is how it should be.
Right, I am back in Kannawa now, and I'm going to take you to one of the best places to watch a sunset in the entire city. However, there's going to be no sunset tonight. It's completely overcast, but I'm not just going for sunset, I'm going to get one of the best pictures of Beppu that you can get. So here we are, we're at the Yukemuri Observatory, which looks over Kannawa, and it gives a really good vista and a really good place to take a photo of the onsens at night. There's one more stop tomorrow morning I want to make before I leave Kannawa and Beppu, so what I'm going to do is finish taking some photos, go get some food, get up early, and hopefully get to another onsen in the morning, and then it's time to say goodbye to Beppu. Anyway, what a fun day it's been, but it's come to an end, so I will catch you guys in the morning.
The next day, I got up early to head to my final onsen before leaving Beppu, and on the way, I found these communal steam cookers, similar to the ones I'd used at Jigoku Mushi. I found this fascinating because, of course, it makes sense that people would still be using this centuries-old method of cooking in the modern day. Shortly after, I arrived at Kannawa Mishiyu, or Kannawa Steam Baths, which came highly recommended from the owner of Omolosu Hostel, because this is a very unique onsen. It's very small and has only a couple of heated baths, but the main attraction is the steam room, where you lie on a bed of medicinal herbs called sekisho, a herb which grows in clusters near rivers in Japan. They don't have a website, but this website gives you some idea of what to expect inside. You enter the onsen, wash, and then use the heated baths as normal. Then, when you're ready, a helpful member of staff preps the steam room for you, and you crawl in and lie on the herbs. Before closing the door, you're then asked if you'd like to spend 8 or 10 minutes inside. Then the door is closed, and all you have to do is sit back and relax. 100% visit this onsen when you come to Beppu, because it's only 700 yen, so it won't break the bank, but it will provide you with another memorable experience on your Japan trip. Anyway guys, that is the end of the video. I hope this has been useful in planning your Beppu trip. If you have found it useful, please hit the like button so YouTube knows to push it out to other people. And if you like my travel vlogs, hit subscribe and YouTube will let you know when I post in the future. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.